Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, thanks so much for checking out my videos. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and share these videos with people who you know may be interested in learning more about holistic nutrition, and especially for the people that you know who have Hashimoto's. Are you here because you have Hashimoto's? And are you here because you are trying to understand better what types of foods maybe are going to work for you in your life? Well, one of the biggest questions I always get from people who have a new diagnosis with Hashimoto's or who maybe have been consuming soy foods for a while and they've started to understand that maybe soy is not the best type of food for them with Hashimoto's disease. I'm here to talk a little bit more about why. So thanks for tuning in. And here's the thing. Where does soy food come from? Well, it's a plant. And so this is a great choice oftentimes for those of you who are vegetarian or vegan, because it is actually a plant that is very high in protein. And so what it is actually a legume. It's like a little tiny bean. It's actually popular as edamame. Maybe you've had this in like a sushi store or restaurant or in a Japanese market or in a Japanese restaurant. You can even buy it and make it at home. Those are soybeans. Edamame is basically green soybeans. And the thing is that in many cultures around the world, consuming soy and soy products can be a healthful part of a diet. But what happens in this country is that we, unfortunately, have made our soy products primarily genetically modified. Why would we do that? Well, what we're trying to do is make more strains of soy that are resistant to the little critters, the little bugs, and the little pests that like to munch on the leaves of soy. And so in doing so, production gurus, farmers, and manufacturers of soy products have been able to prevent things like crop destruction and also to increase yield through the use of some genetically modified variants of the soy plant. And so what we see now in the United States is that it's about 95% of our soy crop is genetically modified. Now, many people think, oh, so what? It's just been modified. Isn't that what hybridization and farmers have been doing to our crops and plants for years and years? And the answer is no, because these are actually plants that have been modified in a laboratory, and they have been chemically and altered in a way that couldn't actually occur in nature. So this to me is a giant risk and a huge human health experiment because we don't have any long-term studies on what the consumption of GMO foods actually does to our health. And there are a lot of different risks associated with this. So one of the resources I think you could check out for more information on GMO soy is a wonderful website called the Environmental Working Group, and their website is ewg.org. You can learn there a lot of the research studies and also a lot of the controversial discussions around genetically modified foods and how this may be of detriment not only to human health but also to the environment and to several species of animals that are needed in terms of biodiversity for our planet and also for healthy ecosystems within the food chain and food supply. So I will leave you to that. Please do a little bit more research. So aside from the fact that these soy foods may be genetically modified, lots of big question marks and potential health hazards there. The other thing about soy foods is that they can be difficult to digest. Yikes. You've always heard, the old saying or the old song, beans, beans, the magical fruit, the more you eat, the more you toot. Well, that's true with soy foods for many people as well. They have a component within the legume, which is called like a lectin, and this can bind to nutrients and also can make the protein and amino acids very difficult to get out of the food itself. So aside from it being actually a good source of protein and having some nutritional benefits, unless it's GMO, even organic soy products can be difficult to digest because of their very nature. So if you don't have a very hardy digestive system, if you have an autoimmune disease, if you have Hashimoto's disease, if you have leaky gut, if you have celiac, if you have any of these issues, you probably want to avoid some of the foods that are the most difficult to digest. Now, let's also talk about some of the problems with soy in terms of just the way it's processed. Holy smokes. You can, see where it's just like the tiny little green bean that you can eat in the restaurant, all the way through to some of the most complex processed soy foods that go through hundreds of steps, and bleaching and deodorizing and flavoring and all kinds of things in order to give you, say, like your special soy ice cream or something like that. So there's kind of this spectrum of like the good, the bad, and the ugly. And what I would say is that Mother Nature intends, if we're going to eat soy, that we would probably try to eat it more on the good angle of things, which means, again, edamame, and some types of fermented soybeans, which could be like tempeh or miso. Pretty much that's about it, because the fermentation process not only makes it more easy to digest and less of a problem for the digestive system, but it also makes those nutrients more obtainable and more easier to, get into our bodies. The more processed, just like anything else in life, the more processed it is, the junkier it is for your body, okay? So I don't care, if you're looking at ingredients and you see like soy, blah, 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 can't pronounce what's coming after that word, probably best to stay away from it. That's my opinion on that. The thing is that soy is found in everything from baby formula to granola bars to cereal to an additive for breads. It's in a lot of the vegetarian and vegan meat products, fake meats. Soy is also found in a variety of different types of health foods, where it's actually showing up as a soy protein isolate. So in addition to just kind of your edamame, tempeh, tofu, miso, soy milk, etc., soy is abundant in our food supply. And again, because soy is genetically modified in the United States, it comes with it a host of problems. So I would encourage you to be checking labels and to be investigating this a little bit further. All right, so what can we do about that? What can we do about like soy-free options, and what are some maybe the alternatives to soy? If A, you're looking for some maybe non-dairy milks or maybe some non-animal proteins, and also if you're just looking to replace soy with some other food options. The first thing is that if you are an omnivore, meaning that you eat animal protein, I would encourage you to look at protein sources from humanely raised and humanely harvested, high quality animal protein, for example, grass-fed cows that are raised on pasture and live beautiful lives out in the sunshine, eating their normal diets, and they are carefully brought to market and lovingly brought to your table by a preferably local butcher with whom you have a relationship. And even if you have to pay a little bit more for that protein source, this is going to be much more ideal for both your thyroid, for your muscle mass, and for your gut as well. So that's where I really think your protein should be coming from. If this is what you've been using soy in the past, you're thinking, well, soy is a good source of protein, but you have Hashimoto's or hypothyroidism, I would encourage you to switch to some high quality animal protein. And that also includes fish, wild caught fatty fishes like wild caught salmon, halibut, mackerel, and even some of the smaller fatty fishes like sardines and anchovies. That's the word I was looking for. Those can also be really high in omegas in addition to protein, and also a great source of calcium. So check those out. If you've never tried anchovies, what I like to do with them, here's a little secret for you. I know I'm digressing from soy, but a way to sneak in some protein without having to chew on a steak is to heat some olive oil on medium temperature in a stainless steel cooking pan, and to toss a couple of anchovies in there. They kind of melt like butter. You can barely even see them. They kind of make like a little sort of saucy, kind of buttery thing. And then add, your crushed tomatoes, garlic, other vegetables, and you can toss it with like your favorite gluten-free pasta, or you can toss it with zucchini noodles. And it's a great way to really add some nutritional oomph to your cooking and to your protein content and to your nutritional content of a very yummy plant-based meal. Okay? So I do encourage you to check out some of the nut milks and also potentially some of the grain-based milks that are out there. This is not for everyone, especially if you know you have grain intolerance, if you're following more of an anti-inflammatory protocol, and grains tend to cause problems with your digestive system. I would stay away from some of like the oat milks and things. But what I do really like are hemp products, hemp seed oil, flax and flaxseed oil, and also the milks that are made from those seeds. I'm a big fan of almond milk, and yes, almond milk can also be way, 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 way over processed. Believe me, when you're reading the ingredients and you see just how very little of that milk product is actually almonds, it's kind of discouraging. But it's very easy to make almond milk at home. And so what I like to do is to soak raw organic almonds in like a mason jar, something kind of just like this, overnight. You can just fill it up with your almonds and pour fresh water over it. Let it soak overnight, drain the almonds, pour it into your blender or your Vitamix with some more water, a little pinch of cinnamon, a little pinch of sea salt. You could do like a pitted date, blend it all up, and then you just strain it through a nut milk bag or a cheesecloth to get all the chunky bits out, and voila, you have your own almond milk, and you made it at home. It was very, very easy, and a little bit goes a long way. This is my preferred additive creamer for my morning cup of coffee. So check that out, very easy to do. I've got lots of other videos here on my YouTube channel, and so maybe you've just started tuning in and you're curious about some things like, should I be having dairy? Should I be consuming alcohol? What about coffee? I just told you that I put homemade almond milk in my coffee, and you can too, and you can learn more about the benefits of finding the right kind of coffee and how much you should be drinking if you want to check that video out. So I have a big playlist, lots of things for you to check out here about Hashimoto's. Some of my favorite recent ones are what to do if you have Hashimoto's and you're experiencing brain fog. Definitely give that one a go. And to circle back with soy, if you've been consuming soy for a while and you're ready to let it go, I wouldn't be surprised to see if maybe some of your symptoms, like maybe your brain fog, other hormonal imbalances, fatigue, etc., if those also go the wayside when you say, bye-bye, soy. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.